Hi, my name is Eddie Blanco. I'm the broker of Stratwell. In today's video, I'm going to be covering the new Miami-Dade County Tenant Bill of Rights, how you can avoid getting sued. I'm not a real estate attorney. I'm a real estate broker here in South Florida, and I'm not giving any legal advice, but I wanted to bring to your attention new changes to Miami-Dade County law and encourage you to seek the advice of a real estate attorney before proceeding with the rental of property. If you own rental properties, you're not going to want to miss this video. Also, if you're a real estate agent or are involved in any way in the rental of properties, it's important that you listen to this video as well. And I might be taking my eyes off the camera a little bit to reference a document that I have to read verbatim some of the things that is important for me to cover today. All right, if you're interested in more information about this, you can always comment below, follow us on our social media channels, or contact us. You can find our contact information on our website at stratwellrealestate.com. All right, well, let's get started. All right, first thing that's important to cover in the Tenant Bill of Rights, which really changes everything. It's that tenants can now sue landlords for the violation of the Tenant Bill of Rights that have occurred or are about to occur. And the statute of limitations is 2 years. Tenants can seek their cost and attorney's fees. They can seek interest, damages, equitable relief, and injunctions against a landlord. Now, what is a landlord? As defined by this new ordinance, Tenant Bill of Rights, a landlord is defined as an owner or a lessor of a dwelling unit, their agents and employees. So be mindful about how you are completing contracts and managing your properties. All right, let's get into the details about what the changes are. Some of which you might have heard on media, some you may not have heard yet, so check it out. First, there's a provision within this that allows a tenant to abate rent, 7-day notice to the landlord for an issue that's going on with the property. They can go ahead and get bids, up to 2 bids, and complete the repairs, before and after photos, and submit those in abatement of rent. So they don't pay you rent, they fix your property. So it's important to know that. So your timelines on repairs on rented properties needs to be up to standard. Failure to comply with this can result in you being sued by the tenant. Failure to comply to everything I'm reading here can be construed by law to be something they can sue you for. And I imagine there's going to be a lot of attorneys that are going to jump on this bandwagon and go after landlords, realtors, etc. that are violating or maybe violating these laws. The first one is very important, and it's a simple one. The landlord must give the tenant a copy, a signed and returned copy of the Tenant Bill of Rights using the specific Miami-Dade County form that the county has on their website. They have them in English, Spanish, and Creole, and they should be provided to the tenant. Failure to do so can result in a lawsuit. Landlords, if they get a notice from a government agency or the condo association stating that the property may be unfit for living or unsafe in any way, those notices must go directly to the tenants within 14 days. Landlords also, if there is a change in ownership that might lead to the termination of the tenant's month-to-month tenancy, they must be notified in writing 60 days prior to any changes for that tenant. Landlords also cannot inquire prior to accepting at the point of application, prior to approving a tenant. They cannot inquire in any way about the previous eviction history of a tenant. If you do, you're subject to a lawsuit. There's also no way that a landlord can retaliate or make any suggestions of retaliation because a tenant seeked advice from an agency or a subtenant hotline that is established by Miami-Dade County. So also this ordinance, the Tenant Bill of Rights, also puts into place and reiterates some of the tenants' rights that are established by state and local law. This ordinance doesn't put those laws into place, but it restates them. So because they're restating these laws, not only are you subject to breaking those laws, you are also subject to the lawsuits that can come from breaking these laws. So some of those can include, for example, as listed here, a landlord cannot collect rent or take any adverse action against a tenant who is occupying a condominium where the landlord isn't paying the condo association for the condo association dues. Landlords must comply with a 60-day notice if they're going to increase rents more than 5% from the previous lease term. Landlords must also comply with a 60-day notice if they're going to terminate a month-to-month tenancy. Landlords also must comply with the Miami-Dade County's guidelines for discrimination. So a landlord cannot discriminate on any tenants based on, this goes beyond the federal protections. So we're familiar with the protections as it relates to discrimination at the federal level, but these go further, and I'll read them out loud so you're familiar with them. Race, color, religion, ancestry, national origin, sex, pregnancy, age, disability, marital status, family status, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, or actual or perceived status as a victim of domestic violence or dating violence, or they're having stalking. So if you perceive that any of that's going on, or it is actually going on to the tenant, and you decide you don't want them as a tenant because of any of these things I mentioned above, you are subject to a lawsuit, and it's a violation of Miami-Dade County code. In addition, discrimination about where they're getting the funds to pay the rent. If they're getting Section 8 voucher, for example, in Miami-Dade County, that's a protected class. You cannot discriminate against somebody because they're a Section 8 tenant. That's a violation of this ordinance. So it's really important that you become clear about what these laws are. If you are an owner or involved in any type of leasing at all, become familiar with these changes. Miami-Dade has a lot of great resources on their website for that. If you want more information about them or need us to send you a copy of that, we'd be happy to do that. Just reach out to us directly through direct message on social media. We're Stratwell. StratwellRealestate.com is we have our contact information there. Feel free to reach out via text, email, or call our office. Happy to help anytime. I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share this information with others. It's important that everybody knows what the laws are, how to protect tenants, and how to protect yourself as a landlord. Take care and have a wonderful day.